Have you ever noticed the difference between talking at someone and actually talking with them? One is a monologue, the other is a relationship. Many believers pray faithfully every day, yet their prayer life feels more like a one-way announcement than an actual conversation. If your prayers feel repetitive, distant, or unanswered, the problem might not be how often you pray, it might be how you're praying. Today I want to show you how to talk with God instead of simply talking to Him, and why this shift transforms not just your prayer life, but the way God actually responds. James 4:8 says, "Come near to God, and He will come near to you." Notice that. This is relational language, not transactional language. Nearness invites nearness. 1. Talking to God is one-directional. Talking with God includes listening. I once heard about a man who prayed passionately every single day, yet admitted he never actually paused to listen for anything in return. Here's the truth. 1 Kings 19:12 describes God speaking to Elijah, not in the dramatic wind or earthquake, but in a gentle whisper. If your prayer time consists entirely of speaking without ever pausing in silence, you may be missing the half of the conversation God is trying to have with you. Not monologue, dialogue. 2. Talking to God often defaults to requests. Talking with God includes honesty about what you're actually feeling. A woman I knew prayed formal, careful prayers every day, always polished, always appropriate, yet privately carried anger and confusion toward God she never once expressed honestly. Listen carefully. Psalm 13 begins, "How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever?" David didn't sanitize his prayers. He brought his real emotions directly to God. Talking with God means bringing your actual heart, not a curated version of it. Not performance, honest disclosure. 3. Talking to God treats prayer like a formality. Talking with God treats prayer like ongoing relationship throughout the day. I remember hearing about someone who confined all their prayer to a rigid 5-minute block each morning, then went the rest of the day without any further conversation with God at all. Here's what you need to understand. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 instructs us to pray continually. This doesn't mean constant formal prayer, but an ongoing awareness of God's presence woven throughout your day, not confined to a scheduled appointment, not compartmentalized, continuous. If this message is speaking to your heart right now, subscribe and write, "Lord, teach me to talk with you," in the comments. Stay with me, because the next 4 shifts reveal even deeper aspects of prayer that actually connects. 4. Talking to God focuses entirely on outcomes. Talking with God focuses on relationship, regardless of outcomes. A believer once shared that his prayer life used to revolve entirely around whether specific requests were answered, feeling connected to God only when things worked out the way he wanted. Matthew 6:9-10 shows us Jesus modeling prayer that begins with, "Our Father." Relationship first, before ever moving into requests. When prayer becomes purely transactional, it stops functioning as genuine relationship. Not results-based connection. Relationship-based trust. 5. Talking to God happens using formal, distant language. Talking with God allows genuine personal expression. I once knew a man who believed prayer required specific formal phrasing, almost like addressing royalty from a script, afraid that speaking naturally might somehow be disrespectful. Romans 8:15 tells us we receive the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, "Abba, Father," an intimate term closer to Papa than a formal title. Talking with God allows the same closeness a child has with a loving parent, not distant formality, not performance language, intimate closeness. 6. Talking to God expects Him to conform to your timeline and expectations. Talking with God includes surrendering to His timing and wisdom. A woman I heard about used to grow frustrated and distant from God whenever prayers weren't answered according to her specific timeline. Isaiah 55:8-9 reminds us that God's thoughts and ways are higher than ours. Talking with God means trusting His wisdom even when it doesn't match your expectations, rather than treating unanswered timelines as evidence He isn't listening. Not demanding compliance, trusting wisdom. 7. Talking to God happens only in crisis. Talking with God happens as a consistent, ongoing rhythm regardless of circumstances. I remember hearing about someone who only prayed intensely during emergencies, then went silent with God during calm, ordinary seasons of life. Philippians 4:6 instructs us to present our requests to God in every situation, not only the difficult ones. Talking with God means maintaining relationship consistently, not just reaching for Him when everything falls apart. Not emergency contact, daily companionship. As we reflect on these 7 shifts, understand this: prayer was never designed to be a one-way announcement delivered to a distant deity. It was designed to be genuine relationship, communication that flows in both directions, honesty that doesn't require polishing, ongoing conversation that isn't confined to scheduled appointments, closeness that mirrors a loving family, and trust that doesn't depend entirely on getting the outcomes you want. If your prayers have felt repetitive, distant, or unanswered, it may not mean God has stopped listening. It may mean the conversation has been entirely one-directional, formal, transactional, and confined to crisis moments instead of genuine relationship. James 4:8 promises that when we draw near to God, He draws near to us. That nearness isn't produced by more words. It's produced by more actual relationship. So today, consider how you've been praying. Have you left space to listen, not just speak? Have you brought honest emotion instead of polished performance? Have you maintained ongoing awareness of His presence throughout your day, not just scheduled appointments? Have you prioritized relationship over results? Have you allowed genuine closeness instead of formal distance? Have you trusted His timing instead of demanding your own? Have you maintained consistent connection, not just crisis contact? If this message spoke to your heart today, write, "Lord, teach me to talk with you, not just to you," in the comments. Share this with someone whose prayer life needs this shift today. And subscribe so we can continue growing together in biblical wisdom every week. God bless you. Until next time.